So, Mark, did you see Henry at the Suncoast? He's a lucky local. He won over $8,000 and he seemed so very excited about it.
Yeah, it's like somebody kicked him in the junk instead of him winning money, or I don't know if he's worried about the tax bill that's coming down the pike now, or what. But I've never seen somebody so like upset. Maybe it's just he doesn't like his photo taken. Maybe he thinks that takes away from his soul. Some cultures. I don't know.
A lot of like winners don't want their pictures taken anymore in this modern age. So I wonder if Suncoast's
I know, but it's
social
nine
media
grand.
manager. Exactly. It wasn't even. Yeah, but I wonder if they just snapped that picture without telling him because he did not look pleased with the fact that his picture was taken. But he's now 9 grand richer. It just reminds me when you walk through these casinos, especially some of the local casinos, you rarely see smiles on people's faces. It's such a serious business.
Yeah, and that's one thing I will say about like the strip and stuff where people are there to experience it and have fun. Like they're less worried about it. Where whenever you go to like a local spot, it's people like are there to seriously try to win money and like are really about it. So it's totally different vibes. And you even see that when you're in like a local casino in other states too. So it's kind of funny.
Now smile, Henry, smile.
He's probably like, I lost 10 grand like 2 hours ago, so this isn't even.
All right, Mark, you were in Vegas this past weekend, and we're going to have some special shows coming up over the next couple weeks, talking about some of the things we did. Area 15, the Neon Museum. We stayed at different hotels, things like that. So we'll have lots of interesting stuff to talk about in some dedicated shows coming up over the next few weeks. I'm back on the road here. I'm in Tampa. Tampa Bay is right behind me, but unfortunately the sun kind of blows out the screen, so I had to put the curtains up. But absolutely beautiful. But let's get into like talking about the big news of the week, and that's that Caesars backtracked completely on their match, and taking diamond status away from people. A lot of people got emails, and then all of a sudden their status was back.
Yeah, it seems like the email blast went out all at the same time, which is pretty surprising for Caesars. Nothing usually works properly or runs like clockwork, and we got like data points like all over the place, people sending it to us all at once. So that was good to see. Of course, it happened, like 3 days after our meetup when we were trying to get everybody together to ride the Link High Roller, using the free tickets. And they're like, nah, we're not going to give those people free tickets. We're going to wait till they get back home, and then we'll give them back their status. But I think it's a good move because I don't have a problem with them changing the terms of the program or changing, status matches because it probably was costing them money. But the fact that they did it after everybody had already matched and they gave status, like you have to give people a little bit of leeway. And when you update terms, do it for the next year, which I think they got a lot of blowback and maybe some legal issues. So now we're here.
Yeah, I do wonder about the legal issues if that's why they're doing this. I mean, I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know what the legality is. But generally, when you make changes like that, you give people notice, and you certainly don't go retroactively downgrading people. It was bad customer service. It seems like just bad management. I'm glad that somebody came to their senses, whether they determined they had a legal problem or not, to do the right thing by customers. And I think in the end, I mean, what are they giving up? They're giving up, I guess some resort fees and $100 dinner or whatever, but they're getting people who will come to their properties who probably wouldn't, especially after Caesars kind of screwed them a little bit. Why would you want to spend money there? And I know a lot of people in our group who did suffer that downgrade purposely avoided Caesars properties because of the customer service issue. So hopefully this gives them a little goodwill as well. And more importantly, good to see all those people get their diamond status back, even if we couldn't take advantage of it for our meetup.
Yeah, I do think, what are you missing out here? Long term, $100 resort fees, and a lot of people had stayed at Caesars properties solely because of that. I mean, they're definitely a tier below MGM and Cosmo and others. So they're like, hey, I'll take it, at a lesser property, but I'm going to save the 30, 40, $50, which is big when you're there for 3, 4, 5 days. That means they're more likely to eat in your place. They're more likely to put a little gambling in. So I do think it's short-sighted, which we've come across a lot with Caesars, and even some people that got upgraded, they're like, I don't even care, I'm already done with them. And then with MGM rolling out, where you can get waived resort fees with gold, people are already making the change to that, getting better, better rooms, better properties, and they're getting the waived resort fees now. So I think it was a bad move, terrible timing with MGM rolling out their stuff too, and doing something very similar with the match and everything. So Caesars can't get out of its own way.
And speaking of MGM Gold and stuff, I didn't put this on the rundown, but when we were there, we had to get our new cards for 2022, and Jasmine went to go get her card, and I had forgotten that her MGM account had been downgraded back to the base level, and all she needed to do was show her Caesars Diamond card, which she had picked up. She has that through Founder's Card, but I guess she could have gotten it through the match. But anyway, all she had to do is show that, and they re-upped her to gold. So that's how easy it is if you have status at MGM right now. They're really going after it. And you're absolutely right. This is like the worst timing. Take away people's benefits just at the same time your competitor adds the same benefit with better hotels and stuff like that. It's probably not the smartest move. Maybe they felt the pain in the bookings and stuff. I doubt it. But anyway, either way,
Yeah,
good news.
I don't know if it would show up now. Maybe there was a lot of cancellations once people got downgraded for future trips, for sure. But yeah, it's just a weird setup. And I did hear, the match from if you have MGM Gold to Caesars Diamond, it's only supposed to be for people that have never had a Caesars Diamond. We did hear some reports of people being able to get that done while they were in Vegas, even though they had a Caesars account in the past. So it might be worth a try again. I know they were blocking people last year, but maybe this year they're starting to open that up. So definitely check it out. I don't know if you'll get the dinner. People are still having issues getting that $100 dinner. Some that earn the tier credits that they say you need to earn, like the 100 or whatever tier credits now. So who knows where that is, but waive resort fees and everything else, cutting line might be worth it. Hey, never hurts to ask, which we'll talk about later.
Yes, it never hurts to ask. And so just to be clear, so we're not confusing people out there, the match from MGM to Caesars is supposed to be first time only, but right now Caesars to MGM is working for anybody, so that's kind of confusing. But just to get that straight, and yeah, there's also some benefits. I think we had one member who linked his account with his wife's account, and then she was a new member. She got the match, and then he got the match because she got the match with Caesars. So yeah, there's all kinds of opportunities there. We'll continue to talk about them and let you guys know what's going on. But the other thing I wanted to talk about, Mark, is you wrote an article this week, and we had a lot of people, a lot of readers and viewers in Vegas that booked with American Express Fine Hotels and Resorts. And officially, the policy with MGM, if you have gold status to get the resort fee waived, is to book direct, to which Fine Hotels and Resorts apparently doesn't count that way. So I guess technically maybe they're not supposed to waive the resort fee, but people are having mixed success asking for them to take it off, right?
Yeah, and Fine Hotels and Resorts is for Amex Platinum card holders. You get you can book a hotel through this program, and you'll get things. And I know Shawn's talked about this in the past. You can get things like $100 dining credit or spa credit, free breakfast, up to like $60 in the morning, upgraded rooms, and stuff like that. And that works on a one night stay, which is pretty great. Especially with the Amex Platinum now, it gives you $200 credit towards Fine Hotels and Resort stays. So a lot of times you can go to Vegas, stay at the Delano, something like that, and it'll be under $200. You use that credit, wipe it off, and you get free food and free breakfast, which is actually what I did. We had a red eye on Sunday, so I booked it with FHR just to have a place to dump our bags, hang out until like midnight when I had to go to the airport, and we got free food and everything to eat during the day and watch the Masters. So that's kind of the cool stuff you can do with these programs. But even like a Hyatt award stay, because they're a partner with Hyatt, you're not supposed to get waived resort fees. And, like I just said, it's always worth asking, especially when a new program rolls out. Sometimes people get confused or they don't know how it really works. And like at Nomad, I was like, oh, don't I get waived resort fees because of gold? And she said, yes, wiped it off. My buddy had to go back and forth a bit, and they said they do it as a courtesy. And then the Delano was like, no, right up front. Very hardcore. Bellagio, things like that. We heard reports of people being successful. So just ask. Don't be rude. Don't be like beating the table saying, I'm gold, give me my free resort fees. But hey, if you're nice and you ask, maybe they'll wipe it off. Sometimes a luxury hotel will just wipe it off if people, bring it up and complain a little bit because they don't want to ruin the experience. So it's worth a try. Could save you $100, $200 on your stay.
Yeah, and certain members of the Vegas community wanted us not to talk about this, saying that we're going to kill it. They want us to gatekeep. We're not doing that. But I do want to emphasize their policy is that it's not a direct booking. So most likely their official corporate policy is that you don't get it waived. Don't treat people poorly. Don't go to yelling at the front desk. But like Mark says, it never hurts to ask. And more importantly, we're just sharing the data points of people who have been there in the last week and are saving the money so that you can save the money too if you're in that scenario. So didn't want to didn't want to leave that little disclaimer out. Make sure you're kind to the front desk staff. And like in your case, when they said no, no means no, I guess. So we'll keep you guys updated on anything else we hear with that. Another kind of story from this week is Benji, who's one of our writers on the site, one of our contributors, was at Resorts World. He is a little crazy, and I don't want to go too much into this, but he has a bunch of platinum cards from different offers. And so he had a bunch of credits that he needed to use for Fine Hotels and Resorts. So he stayed at how many hotels did he stay at over 6 days?
I want to say 5 hotels over 6 days, something like that. Like he hopped every single day pretty much.
Yeah, and he spent some time at Resorts World and specifically at Conrad. He wrote on the site on milestomemories.com about his crazy check-in experience there. Highly recommend checking out that insane article. But also he just talked a little bit about how Hilton is, the benefits aren't that great still. The restaurants have limited hours for, like, let's say you get for Diamond members, you get a $50 credit. The restaurants are still limited. So all the little kind of issues we've talked about with Resorts World seem like they're still persisting all the way now.
Yeah, and as a Hilton Gold or Diamond member, which you can get Hilton Gold carrying the Surpass card from Amex, which is $95 a fee, $95 a year, and that comes with gold stats, which will get you free breakfast a lot of time, or breakfast comps, upgrades sometimes, better earning rates, stuff like that. So it's one of the better mid-tier status, probably the best in hotels. And that works at a lot of places in Vegas. We have an article showing you all the different Hilton hotels or Hilton properties that pair up with things like at Tropicana, stuff like that. So you have a lot of options. And with that, you're supposed to get $25 per person breakfast credit each day you're staying there at Resorts World and at the other properties too. And when it first came out, it was kind of, thought that it would basically work on anywhere on property, but the terminology is very vague. So they leave it up to the property. Some properties will let you use it anywhere. Some will only let you use it at certain restaurants. And earlier on in Resorts World, when I stayed there at opening, they kind of let I use it out at the pool. It wasn't a problem. But Benji wasn't given anything when he checked in. That was part of the issue. So he reached out to them and they sent him an email saying, this is where it works. This is where you have to use it. So it was suns out, buns out for breakfast, or at the kitchen, which the kitchen is one, it's not great food. It's very bland. Service is kind of and then 2, it closes at like 3:00, so you have to have it for breakfast or lunch, which you have all these great restaurants at Resorts World. Why can't you use it anywhere? What does it matter? So that's an issue.
Because they don't own them. That's why.
Yeah. It devalues that perk a bit because you're eating. Suns out buns out is great. So if you want to use it for that, I think that's fine for breakfast. But if you want to, you have to eat at the kitchen for lunch, and the service is slow, they don't have a lot of staffing. It's just a big issue, and it really ruins it. I'd rather just go hang out by the pool and have a drink at the pool bar, stuff like that. So, even as recently as a couple weeks ago, people were able to use it anywhere. So I don't know what's going on, if they just recently changed that or if it was just somebody giving him the wrong info. But he did stay there twice on different dates, came back, and was told the same thing both times. So I don't know if this is something new or what's going on.
But yeah, he has a couple articles just from the last week on Resorts World on his stay. Kind of give you guys an idea of what it is. I'll put a link in the description. He's also, I believe, going to have his full Conrad review on the site coming soon. So we'll have all that coverage coming on milestomemories.com. And now let's talk fun. Resorts World's having a mezcal festival. What's the difference in taste between tequila and mezcal?
One tastes like tequila. Mezcal tastes like somebody burnt a tire and then poured it into a cup. That's the difference.
Okay. Well, if you like that taste, mezcal, then on May 14th, Resorts World's having a festival, and it's $100 for a ticket plus a $5 fee, so about $105. You get a 3-hour entry to the event. There's tequila and mezcal tasting, so if you just want tequila, I guess you could get that from all. So my guess is usually with these sorts of things, they give you like a punch card or something, and you can get one sample from each place. But there's also food there, and then discounted bookings if you want to stay in the hotel.
Tiny sample.
Yeah, it'll be taking place on the Rose Rooftop, which is one of their outdoor event spaces, which looks really nice. So, I mean, $100, 3 hours, I feel like you could get your money's worth there.
Yeah, it sounds like a good, if you like tequila and you like mezcal, which one of my good friends who was in Vegas this past weekend loves mezcal, loves it. And if it's in a mixed drink, I can do it, but straight, no, it really does taste like burnt rubber. And he even said that. You probably won't like it. Don't drink it. Put it in a mixed drink. But kind of funny story because we're talking about mezcal. There's like this $300 bottle that has like a thing that you can ding on top of it, tequila. And he went to Cosmo, and him and his buddy were there, and they wanted $65 for the shot, and she didn't even know that you could like ding the top of it. And then we go to Skyfall at Delano later on Sunday night before we fly out, and it was like $35 a shot there. So prices can vary wildly, and you wouldn't think a rooftop bar would be where you go to get the deal, but I guess that's where the better price is.
Well, let's talk about Cosmo a little bit. You and I were out, not really together much, but we were out in various separate places during our meetup. Friday night, I was out till past 2 a.m. hanging out at the Taco Bell Cantina.
The smoke happened. The smoke.
Yeah, there was all that. There was that crazy fire, and we had people in different areas of the strip, and everybody. One of our friends over at Delano or Mandalay Bay, he said he could smell the smoke in his room. We were out on the strip at Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard. You could definitely see and smell the smoke, and I know you were not far away, further south on the strip, so that was crazy. Taco Bell Cantina, I think that's maybe the only thing open at that time of night because it was packed. Like, you could get drinks, you can get food there, and it was really interesting to see that and a really nice atmosphere there. Cosmo, right before that, around 2 a.m., was absolutely packed. In fact, I think you might have been at the Chandelier bar when Jasmine and I were.
We closed that down at 4 a.m.
I do want to say, like, at Cosmo, I was so impressed with how busy the casino was. Packed. Cocktail waitresses over to the machine within 2 minutes. I wasn't even gambling, but they gave me drinks, which is always nice. I never push on that, but it doesn't hurt to order and see what they do. Of course, all the drinks are still served in nice glasses, and I just hope that, although Aria does serve their drinks in nice glasses too, but I hope that sort of service doesn't go away with MGM taking over, because it really is a phenomenal casino, and the service is really good there, and even busy at 2 a.m. on a Friday.
Yeah, we were in Chandelier Bar. We closed it down, and it was busy. It was packed in there until 4 a.m. essentially, and just that whole area. And my buddy and his friend, were coming to the meetup, and then would go hang out. And they said, from now on, we're just going to Cosmo. Like they were just bar hopping at Cosmo and having a great time. One piece of advice I will give that they learned while they were there, and this might be well known, I'm not sure, but it's an off menu drink at Cosmo. Just say like the mouth number. I forget what the name of it is. Comes with this tiny little like dandelion or flower or something. The drink's pretty good. You bite the little flower, you chew on it a bit, and your whole mouth like starts to tingle and then goes numb for 10 minutes like Novocaine. And actually, the drink takes on like a different flavor too, and it improves it a bit. But it's just like such a wild sensation. Definitely go do it. Take a bite on it. Don't do a big bite, because we had a buddy that was like, "Oh, I'll do it." He's like, I don't feel anything, and then he's sticking his tongue out, can't feel it, so just do a nibble.
The only thing about Cosmo I would warn people is it's a very young vibe, especially at that time of night. So if you're old 40-ish guys like us, make you feel young again.
You just look like creepers, I guess.
No, I mean, there's people, but I just mean, like, if you don't like the atmosphere and the noise and all of that, then, maybe it's not for you. But if you really like fun and lively places full of, lively people, it's about as good as you get on the strip.
Then you should be in Henderson. Ooh.
Or at the Wynn, right? Wynn is pretty quiet.
True.
That's more of that. All right, so more updates from the strip. That mall that they're putting in right outside Crystals at the corner of Harmon and Las Vegas Boulevard. Got a few shots of that. It's coming along, so it's kind of slowly, but certainly coming along, and that probably will open later this year. There's no announced time frame on that, but since I walked by, figured I would show everybody that. And then, Mark, I made my way to Paris, and I walked by the old Diamond/Laurel Lounge, which is Vanderpump Paris, and we talked about it, that it's open and stuff like that. But man, did they do a great job with that space. It is stunning. Like, it is absolutely gorgeous. Way better than the one at Caesars Palace. Way more like open too. So, I don't know what else to say, but what a transformation of that space, and they knocked it out of the park. Of course, prices are still high. It's Vanderpump.
I didn't actually make it over there, which I should have, but we just didn't have. We had so much going on that weekend that I didn't have time. But seeing your pictures, the video and stuff, and it looks better. Like I love the Caesar space, but it's really like kind of narrow and long, like cavernous almost. So you don't really get like the feel of it, where that's very open and you can see into the casino. You can kind of see what's going on, the action. Where when you're in the other one at Caesars, you're if you get seated in the back, you're not really seeing anything. And even in the front, they have all the shrubbery and stuff growing around it that's kind of like enclosed. But she really does have great design taste, and some of the cooler aspects of restaurants that I've seen. What she comes up with is pretty out of this world.
Yeah, again, I was really impressed seeing it in person. It looked even better than in the pictures. And then heading further back, you have the area where the old buffet was, which I believe is going to be Nobu. And then across from that, where Martirano's is going to be the Martha Stewart restaurant. Neither one of those spaces
Weird.
seems to be very far along. So like that whole back mall area is just full of construction walls basically right now as they work on that. But the whole casino and everything looks normal, so it's fine. But yeah, the Martha Stewart restaurant didn't seem very far along at all, and neither did Nobu. Although I only got very limited looks, so I'm not gonna say anything about it.
All the workers are on a tether at the Martha Stewart restaurant, so they can only come out at certain times.
All right, that went over my head. Explain.
She was in a house arrest back in the day.
Oh, okay. So tether. Okay, all right. That's not one of your best jokes. Let's just.
Oh, okay. Moving on.
All right. Moving on. So
the people will get it.
They will. I also stayed at Bally's, and we're going to talk about that. You stayed at Bellagio and some other places, so we're going to have a separate show coming up in the next couple of weeks talking about that. Kind of did my goodbye to Horseshoe, update you on the restaurant situation there as well. So stay tuned for that in the next couple of weeks. We did get news that our beloved Peppermill, they put something out on Twitter. I didn't realize that there was any controversy about them possibly closing, but they put out on Twitter, no, we're not closing, that their parking lot's now more limited because of their new neighbors, I guess the convention center and stuff, but that they also signed a 10-year lease. I think maybe we covered this news like a year or 2 years ago, like at the beginning of COVID, that they had extended their lease. Maybe it wasn't a 10-year lease, but no matter what, whether this is new or they're just reaffirming it, Peppermill going to be here for a while, to which I saw you replied on Twitter, but when are you going to open up 24 hours again?
Yeah, that's all we care about. The problem with Peppermill is it hasn't been, that we thought they're going to close, which I don't know where that came from, but it's been waiting for long lines, closing at 9 p.m., not being open 24 hours, getting that experience that you used to get. So we had somebody that was staying at Resorts World for the meetup go over there, and it was an hour wait, which is, somewhat normal to what it was before COVID, but you could always go there like middle of the night or at like 4 or 5 a.m. after a long night of drinking, gambling, whatever, and you could get in and sit down and have a good meal. So hopefully they get back to that. Hopefully they get the staff issues fixed for sure.
All right, and that's going to do it for us this week. We have a ton of cool shows from our time in Vegas coming up, from hotel reviews to other stuff like we mentioned, Area 15, the Neon Boneyard. So look for that on the channel in the next couple weeks. In the meantime, don't forget to leave a comment. Let us know what you think about any of these stories. Vanderpump Paris, the Caesars status match, any of that stuff, Resorts World. Also smash the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, head to milestomemories.com for any Vegas stuff.
Elgo, yo.
Help us out. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and we'll talk to you guys next time.